example using the Pythagorean theorem. Now I have a triangle here. It's obviously a right triangle because it has a right angle down here in the corner. But I'm going to go ahead and label it with a couple of different things to give us an idea of what's going on here. I'm going to label A, B, and C, which are going to be the vertices of this triangle, where C is going to be the right angle. And then I'm going to give us some side lengths. This one's going to be 13. This one's going to be X. And this one's going to be X plus 7. Okay, the gist of this goes sort of like this. We remember that the Pythagorean theorem says that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, where C is the hypotenuse. Okay, so hypotenuse, and these are the legs, right? So those are the legs, and C is the hypotenuse. So we're going to set this up just like that. So the hypotenuse squared is equal to one of the legs squared, so X plus 7 squared plus X squared. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, if we expand this out, X plus 7 is going to be X squared plus 14X plus 49 plus X squared. I use the FOIL method to get my X squared plus 14X plus 49. And then I'm going to simplify. Okay, so 13 squared is equal to 169. Maybe I'll just go ahead and put that in right away. So this is going to be 169 is equal to 2x squared plus 14x plus 49. And how do I solve for this? Well, I have two choices. I know that I need to solve for 0, so I need to make this into 0. Because we remember way back from Algebra 1, Algebra 2, that we need to set our quadratic equal to 0. Okay, so 0 equals, and now what we're going to have left is 2x squared plus 14x, and we're going to have minus 120 in here. Now, we have two choices. I'm going to take this and put it on a new slide and show you our two choices. So, we have 0 is equal to 2x squared plus 14x minus 120. Now, two choices. Let's do it like this. Either I can factor it, or I can use the quadratic formula. Let's try to factor it first. Well, already what I know is that each of these terms here is divisible by 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And I'm going to end up with 0, because 0 divided by 2 is 0, is equal to x squared plus 7x plus 60. Now, things that multiply together to get 60. 12 and 5, okay? But I know I want to end up with a plus and a minus. So, sorry, this should be minus 60. That's kind of an important detail. So this is minus 60. So I know that when I factor this, I'm going to have an x, and because this here is negative, I know I'm going to have a plus and a minus. Now, what two factors of 60 add together to get plus 7? Well, I'm going to have plus 12 and minus 5. You will recall that now I have 0 is equal to x plus 12 and x minus 5. Well, one of these needs to be equal to 0. So first I'm going to set x plus 12 equals 0. So x is obviously negative 12. Or x minus 5 is equal to 0, in which case x is equal to 5. Now, my choice here is this. I know that back in this problem, this is a length. So I know that it can't be negative 12 because it's a length. It's a distance. So it has to be 5. Okay? The other way to do this. Because I have this quadratic, what I can do is I can say that 0 is equal to x squared plus 7x minus 60. I'm going to use the quadratic formula and say x is equal to negative b, which is 7, plus or minus the square root of 7 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c. This should be 60. My apologies. This is 60 times minus 60. Very important to keep our negatives straight. So I've got x is equal to negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus, now, 4 times 60. What do we end up with? We've got negative 240, but then we've got subtracting a negative 240. So I'm going to end up with, in my square root, my radical, 289. Okay, so negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 289. How does this help me? Well, look at what happens. When I take the square root of 289, conveniently I get 17. Now, I have two choices. Remember, I didn't put it up here, but this is all over 2 times a, which would be 2. So all of these are over 2. When I get down to the very end, that's where it matters. Because what I'm saying is I have two different answers. I have negative 7 plus 17 over 2, or negative 7 minus 17 over 2. Well, what happens? If I add here, I get 10 over 2 equals 5, which is what I got over there. Or I get negative 24 over 2, which is negative 12. Remembering, of course, that I can't get that. It's good because I got the same answer on both sides, but I did it two different ways. You are able to do this. This is good. These are good things. Now, a ski lift problem. Here's a word problem. I'm going to give you this one. Let you mull over this one. I would say, draw a picture of this as it is stated in words. Try it. We will talk about it tomorrow. Thanks for watching.